Hey, what's going on, guys? All on channel host Sega Forever, and it's been a long time since I did a video. Been trying to be a little bit more consistent on my channel. I know I owe you guys my thoughts on the E3 2021 show that Microsoft did. Definitely going to do one. I got a lot to say. It might come a little bit later in the week, so I know I'm a bit behind, but please bear with me. But it was a great show, and like I said, I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. Specifically with Microsoft when it comes to E3 2021. I'll probably talk about some of the other shows I watched. Um, and then I've been trying to absorb a lot of other people's content just to get a better idea of where everybody sits because it's the first E3 that we've come back since 2019 they didn't have one. Oh no, sorry, 2020 didn't have one. So with 2021, it's the first E3 we had so in 2 years. And yeah, definitely want to share my thoughts on it. I thought Microsoft did an excellent job. So spoiler alert on that. As you guys know, I'm a pro Xbox channel. But the reason I'm doing this video because I want to put somebody out on blast. This is what I call my hat tip videos. I used to do these before on my channel when I first started out. So typically what they are, if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen one of my hat tip videos before, what they basically are is me putting somebody on blast that I enjoy their content. As you guys know, I'm a pro Xbox channel or gamer. I'm into comic books, all stuff pop culture. So it can be various people from across the spectrum, tend to be influencers either on YouTube or social media. Um, and for the most part, it's usually people in the Xbox community. But like I said, when I stopped doing my videos, or I kind of throttled doing hat tip videos, man, because you put people on blast, and then later on you find out that they basically weren't the people you thought they were. And which is, it sets stuff up to be very awkward. And plus, you've already put those people out, and then people have gone to the channel based on your recommendations, and it's just bad for everybody. So I'm a little bit more careful on who I put on blast because a lot of people don't stick around, if you know what I mean. A lot of people on the Xbox side know exactly what I'm talking about. But this person here is Zuvi for Zuvi's Game Room. It's her YouTube channel this is the screenshot I got here. I'm not going to play her video. I definitely recommend that you go check out her channel. Now, if you're an Xbox guy like me, she's more on the gaming front. And what I mean by that, she talks about all things gaming. She doesn't do too much on Xbox, but as you guys have been seeing in the news, Xbox has been doing really well in Japan, at least by Microsoft standards, and industry standards too, man. And people are taking notice of it. But just keep in mind, Microsoft's never really done well in Japan. So, I mean, anything that's positive would be good, right? If we're being honest. And that's how I kind of came across her channel because I was looking into some of the Xbox news concerning Japan. And then I watched other people's videos, which they had interesting perspectives, and I'll do my own video on it because, I'm an old school gamer, man. I'm OG, so I have my own opinions on it. And I've said it on my channel before, man. I don't think China is the end all or be all of the gaming industry. It hasn't been since the 90s. It's if I have to compare it to anything, it's like anything in fashion or music or even movies. Um, like for example, in the movies, Hollywood does produce a lot of stuff. It's still a big market, but a lot of stuff is shifting to other. The paradigm is shifting to other countries and the content that they're making. For a perfect example, man, I'm a huge K-drama fan. I like watching Korean cinema. I also, as you guys know, I like watching a lot of anime. So, where I spend my time mostly in the American market, my taste of kind of uh, how can I put that? They've expanded. I want to say expanded to some extent, um, but I just like the product that they make a little bit better than what we're doing over here. And like I said on my channel, with all the stuff that we're doing, the entertainment industry needs to wake up, man. They need to get their head out of their butts and start making some content that people like. And so I've kind of, I've been for the last 10, 15 years, been just absorbing stuff from Asia, especially. And so I have a different perspective on what I think about Asian cinema and Japan when it comes to gaming, especially. Like I said, I've never felt they were the end all be all for a long time. The only reason that I hope Microsoft does well in Japan is because I like the content that they do produce. But what I mean by that is in a more pure sense, right? I grew up on pop culture in the 80s and the 90s, Japanese pop culture. Um, and the pop culture now that they're producing kind of reminds me of that. And in fact, a lot of the Asian popular culture reminds me of stuff from the 80s and 90s, which is probably why I'm kind of drawn to it. And they're just good content overall. Um, but basically, that's what I was just researching some of that because I want to do a video on Xbox in Japan and what I think they should be doing. And that's how I came across Zuvi's channel, because she's probably the first, one of the first few Japanese influencers that I've seen on YouTube. And she also speaks English, and she also does this really great video where she translates people's comments on their social media in Japan when it comes to gaming, which I've really been enjoying, because I've always said this on my channel. If you guys want to look at things, whether it's gaming, pop culture, all the stuff that I cover, even politics, man, sometimes it's good to get an outside perspective. In fact, I recommend getting an outside perspective. For example, if you watch just American media when it comes to politics, it's good to watch, like I watch media from Europe, especially from Asia, Australia, because it's like from the outside looking in. Sometimes when you're too close to the metal, or you're too much in your own bubble, right? Like we are here in the gaming community in America. There's definitely two sides, and then you got all the casuals in the middle and the PC guys and all that stuff. It's nice to get a perspective from the outside looking in. I always feel that way. I'm not saying that you have to agree with what the person's saying, but I think if you listen to her video and some of the comments, especially she was reading in some of these forums that Japanese gamers are talking about, I mean, it kind of shocked me a little bit. I kind of knew about it, but with her being able to translate and going into depth about what people are really thinking in Japan when it comes to the gaming market, man, I was a little bit shocked. I was taken back about quite a few things. And it also made me realize why I think Microsoft is confident that they're doing well. And they should be, man. I mean, Game Pass isn't just, an American phenomenon. It's a cultural phenomenon, and it's happening all over the world. Because at its core, man, it's just great value and great content. And that's something that anybody across the board will enjoy. And when I do my video where I talk about Japan, Microsoft and Japan, and how they could possibly do better in the market or actually dominate the market, that would be something to see, right? But they have some avenues that they can take. There are American products that do well in Japan, but you gotta kind of with your own niche, right? And you gotta make your product like anything else that anybody makes, any product. You gotta make something that people want. And right now, Game Pass is something that people want. Like I said, it's not just the value. The value is great, but it's also the content. I was just playing the Summer of Games demos that Microsoft they allowed you to download. Hopefully, I think it goes to the end of this week. But if you guys haven't tried any of those demos, man, you should definitely do it. I downloaded about 3 or 4 games, and there's other ones I want to download, but I just did those because, like I said, man, I'm really busy. Plus, we got all this other stuff going on. Like I'm doing this video right now for you guys. Time is a commodity for me. So I downloaded 5 games that I thought I would like. Absolutely loved all of them. And I was thinking, if these 5 games, I don't know if they're going to be Game Pass day one, but if they are, that would be awesome. Um, I mean, I love them so much, and they were just demos, but I like them so much I could see myself buying them day one. Plus, most of them are indie titles, so they won't be, too expensive. At the most, I see some of them going for like possibly 39, but I would say like 29.99, with some as low as probably 14.99, with between that 10.99, 14.99 range. But I mean, I enjoy them so much, man. I just I would pay full price for them. But now, if they go into Game Pass, right, and this is what people again aren't giving Game Pass credit for. There are people doing it, but like Microsoft has their share of haters, and one of the things people say about Game Pass is just trash or dump fire content that they're putting on there is nothing good. But when you start, especially if you're not an Xbox person and you get Game Pass, maybe to try 1 or 2 games, maybe you're jumping into Game Pass just for Bethesda, right? And then you like the Bethesda games, but then you find all these other games, right? And that's not just an American thing. That's also South American. It can be European, and it's definitely something um, that Japan is experiencing right now that they're going through. And I'm not like I'm saying. Look, there's a lot of things Sony is doing wrong. It appears from what I see from her video. Nintendo's still in the mix, of course. Nintendo is like the big cheese over there, man. But there's a lot of avenues I see that Microsoft can make a dent in the Japanese console market, and definitely with Game Pass, convert some people. In fact, she did a recent video that I watched, where she talks about how she's playing Game Pass more. Anyway, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but definitely go check out her channel. If you like it, subscribe. Um, I'm going to subscribe to her channel.